Live from the unknown theater Horizon Worlds. Tonight is Pipe Dreams and Crooked Conversations with your hosts, Windmajik and B-Ligerent.
He did it first shot.
Yay, he did.
He fucking practiced that one in the mirror, I tell you.
What's up, everybody?
What? Hey, welcome to the very first streaming episode of Pipe Dreams and Crooked Conversations. It would have been really embarrassing if I had fucked that up after King got it right. And my host, Belligerent, I'm Windmajik, and we are at the Unknown Theater. We're here to talk about all kinds of shit. Yay! Beach Gal, you made it.
Hi, Beach
Gal. So this is just like a random podcast, and then we're gonna talk about, different shit that comes to mind. And yay, Beach Gal is here. And she's my very best friend. I've introduced her before at one of the shows, but she doesn't come on VR very often. She's not quite as much of a nerd as I am in some ways, but she has been my very best friend since 1984.
Best friend.
Since before a lot of you fuckers were born. Yay. Okay.
That's way too cute.
It is
right.
way too cute.
So what's our show going to be about?
I don't know. I've got a pillow up here in my head.
It's about pillows.
It is about pillows. It's all about the pillows. I love these pillows.
Pikachu pillow.
Thank you so much, Emmy, for our set. I love it. So B, how was your week? How was your weekend?
Great.
What did you do? Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Let me finish that thought though. That this is going to be an interview show. We have an interview set up tonight. Is it a mystery? Should we tell them who we're going to interview tonight? That's the basis of our show. Correct.
I'm out of here.
It can be a mystery.
I don't know.
It'll be a mystery.
It
Fuck
could
it.
be
Fuck it. It's a mystery.
It could
It's
be
a mystery.
It could be a mystery. I think.
Hold on. But I want you to. Hold on. Can I have a request? Are you cool with this?
I'm cool with it.
All right.
Cool.
I want you to say the title of our show. Yeah, shut the fuck up. No, I'm gonna tell you. I want you to say the title of the show in the thickest Vermont accent that you can.
In the thickest Vermont accent, like a native Vermont accent.
Only you can do it. Like you're good at it. I laughed the last time you did
Pipe Dreams and Crooked Conversations.
Yeah.
How'd I do, Kim?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't know his funny ass Vermont accent in person once. It was hilarious. Fucking funny. I thought you busted out.
Oh,
Minnesota would be like, oh yeah, the pipe dreams there and the crooked conversation. That's Minnesota. That's where I'm from.
Well, Vermont is more like I've done a lot to get rid of my Vermont accent, and so it's a little difficult for me to fall back into it unless I start talking to one of my brothers or somebody.
Or maybe a friend who's in the audience. I don't know.
Well, no, she lives in Indiana now, so she's got an Indiana accent.
I got an Indiana accent now.
Yeah, she does.
How do they say it? Let's hear it.
Pipe dreams and crooked conversations.
Cuckoo! That's right. Tell your friends.
Well, they just say it really slow in the passing lane.
Yeah. Like I have pipe
dreams. Those damn Hoosiers.
Sounds kind of weird. I love it.
Well, Vermont
definitely don't know how to
wouldn't
drive
say
here.
that they were having conversations. They would say they were conversating.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Conversating.
Conversating.
Super cute.
Yeah, I think Win should say it in French.
Je ne parle pas français.
What did I say?
You didn't.
Les poo poo, les papa. Yay! I did it. Yay! Yay! I did when I was so when Kim and I were in Montreal this past September, and I asked some dude, because I was like, getting friendly with, not real friendly in a freaky way. Like I was talking to a pigeon. I was talking to a little trash eagle, like a little pigeon, and I was feeding him, and I was like, hi. If you were a pigeon and you were my pigeon, I would name you Cornelius. And then, like, I was informed that Cornelius isn't a good name for a pigeon by somebody. And so I just asked some random dude on the street, like, if you were a pigeon and you were my pigeon and I named you Cornelius, would you be okay with that? And he fucking looked at me. Now, he had just been talking to his friend in perfect English.
Nice.
And this motherfucker, bless your hearted me, in Canadian. He said, I don't speak English. I kind of shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I got a question.
So what's going
for
on
you.
with you, B?
Yeah, I got a question for you. So I want to tell a story too, like something really funny. So 123 million people watched the Super Bowl.
Why?
Guess which two people didn't? Me and you. So like everybody else watched the Super Bowl.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't
Didn't
watch
they?
it.
Didn't.
A lot of people
Yeah,
watched.
we didn't
a lot of
watch
people
it.
Come
watched
on,
the Super Bowl.
football, play football, football.
watch it.
You're right. Fuck it. It's
Come
dumb,
on,
but
football,
people
play
watch it anyway. People
football.
go to parties. You know, it's like a big deal or whatever. I'm over it. Like whatever. So
Yeah. My team wasn't in it.
I thought. So it was the
Neither was yours.
most watched TV program in American history, right? It surpassed whatever, probably the last Super Bowl.
Well, you know
So
what?
I have a question for you. So, and it's a hint on who our guest is.
Okay.
Canada.
Yes.
What do you think is the most? What's the most watched show in Canadian history? Do you think?
The most watched show.
Yeah,
in
like the Super
Canadian
Bowl had the
history.
most fucking people at one time watching one thing.
Oh fuck! I don't
Ever in
know.
the
Probably
United
something
States.
about I don't know, beavers. Never mind.
Does anybody know?
How it's
Anybody know what
made,
it is?
Maple.
Huh?
Maple.
Maple
Nobody,
syrup.
nobody knows.
Tree tapping.
I'll tell you. So it was the
No, not
it was
that
the
whole A.
it was the finale. It was the finale episode of a really popular show. Called Flannels. And that was the
No
most
shit.
people.
Is that
and,
real?
And 200,000 people were watching.
No.
That was the most watched show in Canadian history.
200,000 people. So that was basically every home in Canada.
Right. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, the most watched program was also the Super Bowl. Isn't that crazy? In Canada. And it was 19 million people, was just exactly half of the population.
They don't get the fun commercials
half of
though,
Canada
that we
watched
do.
No.
Mm-mm.
I think it's half
Well,
of
you know
Canada
why
watched.
most of the people were watching, like, well, you know, the Taylor Swift thing and Travis Kelsey, and she probably was like, all her fans were watching to find out if they lost, then she probably would have dumped him, don't you
That's
think?
not true. That's sad.
You don't think she would have dumped
Who's
him?
that sad? Oh, that's
No.
crazy.
They wanted to
Crazy
know if
talk.
there was going to be a new song about him on her next album.
Well, Nickelodeon shows the Super Bowl, right? Maybe that's that consensus.
They had
Just
SpongeBob
thinking about it.
for the Super Bowl this year.
They had
Did-
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
So who watched the Super Bowl? Who actually watched it? How many people?
I watched a little bit, but not all of it.
You don't have
All
to be
I
guilty
know
about it. It's
is
fine.
they had like SpongeBob segments. Like there was like a song they used.
You know, I'm like
Cool.
I'm asking a crowd of people who are on VR headsets if they watched the fucking Super Bowl. Why am I surprised not a lot of people are?
I watched
Yeah.
like 5% of it.
How many people watched
up,
the
what up?
commercials?
On YouTube.
Saw like 5 of them.
I watched the
Okay.
I haven't seen
halftime
any.
show today.
I was gonna say, how many people watched the halftime show?
No.
Not
No.
not on Sunday. Today.
Yeah, Usher like hugged somebody, I guess.
Mm.
Right?
Oh, did he?
He hugged somebody. That was a headline.
Oh boy! Like like, did he just grab on him and start hugging him?
I
Because
think it
he'll
was
be me
like
too.
just some random person. I thought. I don't know.
Dude. what
Next
the
thing you
fuck?
know, Usher's gonna be me too.
Yep.
No wardrobe malfunctions. His dick didn't pop out with a little pasty on the end of it or anything. did it?
Or as you know.
I probably
No.
would have heard about
He
that
did
by
strip
now.
down to nothing on the top.
Jeez.
No. That's Gusher. Gusher.
Wrong Super Bowl. Wrong
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Okay.
That was Nickelodeon too.
That was
Gusher,
Nickelodeon.
Gushers.
Well, yeah, they were slime.
Oh,
It was a big part of the 90s and kind of the 2000s, but they dropped it in like 2005 or something like that.
got slimed.
Yeah.
Since the
Have you
80s.
ever been slimed?
Yeah, you're
I
right.
haven't. In what kind of slime to be?
It's green.
Nickelodeon.
Oh.
Nickelodeon.
It's green.
Slime.
Uh-huh.
She did once fuck a guy named Grinch.
Great.
I have in fact been slimed. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's a big Twinkie.
What are you laughing at up there, Spider?
I wasn't laughing.
Well, what was that noise coming from your avatar?
That wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it was fixed, but whatever. It's fine.
So
Super Bowl,
B,
that is. Not me. Not fixed.
what other hints do we have about our guest that's going to be coming out?
Oh. He doesn't like his legs covered up.
He doesn't like his legs covered up.
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Which will be cool because
Amish?
we'll get the sexy factor going in the show.
Nice.
Know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, should
That's-
we bring him out?
Let's bring him out.
Let's bring him out. Let me go see if he's ready.
He's throwing the moon back and forth and back. It's actually on the stage.
Okay, I would like to welcome to the stage Simon Josh.
First guest ever.
Yay!
Already dancing on the table.
And he was dancing on the table and everything.
Briefly. Hello, my fellow
Gotta
trash
flash
eagles.
the legs.
Yay.
Flash the leg. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna move over to this chair over here so that
You
I
wanna get
can
a look at
like
these?
see both
I want to
of
move
you.
too.
Get a load of it,
Ow.
guys.
Look at those legs. Look at those legs.
All right.
He's a brick.
How many people have watched Umbrella Academy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Had to.
Oh, the
Time
classic
traveler.
binge.
Simon's an alumni.
Number 5.
One day I'll Google that and see what you've been referring to.
I'm not the only person who has mentioned this.
Why,
So
it looks like
Simon is oh, hold on. I'm like getting scratchy throat here. I hit my vape and I got to choke.
Part of the show. It's all
Simon.
part of the show.
Okay, I'm good. So Simon is one of the owners of the Unknown Theater here in Horizon Worlds. And
True.
how did you come about getting into all this?
All of this.
Well, how long have you been in VR? Have you been in VR since before Horizon Worlds?
I have. And incidentally, the first person who got me into VR is Rodney, aka Voodoo Vinny. In case you don't know, I had gone over to his apartment. He at the time was not a married man with a bunch of kids in a suburb. He was an unmarried man in an apartment in the city and was much cooler. Those are the days. It's a different kind of cool now. But yeah, so I was at his house, and he's like, "You've got to try this VR thing," and he puts me in this headset, and I was like, "Okay, seems kind of cool." And he was very amused by the whole thing, like very giggling at what was about to happen. And he put me in the app Climby. I don't know if anyone's ever played.
Oh,
Climby.
yeah.
It's a really old school VR game. Basic platformer. It's like walking around, jumping from thing to thing, climbing stuff. I remember hopping on a platform, and the platform was a moving platform, and there's like a wall with a space and enough room to duck. And I was like, Rodney, how do I duck? How do I duck? What do I do? He's like, duck, motherfucker. I was like, oh, I can actually duck. Truly immersive VR gaming moment, and it was awesome. And from then on, we'd played a lot of VR games since. Rodney and I go back to, I guess, childhood with some video game history, and VR gaming was the next bit of that history. A lot of Echo VR, a lot of pistol whip competition, and then one fateful day in March of 2022, I was among a few hundred other unfortunate souls, or fortunate depending on how you look at it, laid off from the place I was working. Called Rodney to be like, "Hey man, some bad news, I just got laid off." He literally went, "Yes!" Like, thanks, man. It's like, I really no, but really though, like, really sorry. You okay? I'm like, yeah, fine. It's like, what would you like to basically build our what will be our virtual reality comedy theater? I had no idea at that point what that even meant, pretty much, looking now at what it's become. But I know up to that point, I'm not gonna long ass answer this question, but it's a big question. Up to that point, I've been following along what he's been doing. He's been doing his Unknown Comedy Club on Zoom during the pandemic. I did a Zoom set on there. It was an interesting experience. And so every now and then we'd have these conversations. He'd pick my brain a little bit. I'd be curious about what he was doing. I was doing my thing, but I'd support his comedy shows and follow along. And suddenly, the next level of that thing he was inviting me into, and then then it all got started. And well, I guess I'll pause. I'll stop there.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Dude, you're like a superhero, man. You're like a fucking
Yeah.
you're like the unknown fucking superhero, man. For real, like more about your origin story though, man. Like, so you're from Montreal, right?
Suburb just outside
Suburb Montreal.
Montreal. Not quite in the city itself. It's one of those things where, you know, you pick like the cool place that you're near that has more people, and you say you're from that thing.
Okay.
But Colin knows he grew up in the same place. But yeah, Rodney and I went to the same elementary school. Back then I was like pretty much the shyest kid that ever was.
And your mom was the teacher?
No, that was in high school. That's the thing. That was high
Was
school,
Rodney her favorite student?
one of them, honestly. He's like the ultimate. So my mother taught drama.
Shout out to Rodney. Just fun for
Yeah, he taught drama classes.
Here, have some.
Yeah, give me some of that.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Oh, no. That's my bad.
I got it.
That's also my bad.
Yeah. He had drama classes in with me.
Drama.
And the point of the drama class, which is ironically kind of something we've never even done at the theater, you have to come
That's
in.
why you're good at it.
You get, I mean, but we didn't even do this. She would say, like, here's a topic, and you basically have like 40 minutes to come up with something, and the last like 20 minutes is everybody doing like sketches based on the kind of prompts or whatever they were given.
Yeah.
So it was like, come up with something funny and act it out for your friends and get a laugh by the end of the class. And there was not enough time to do anything serious. So it was like pretty much jokes class. And like, you can imagine Rodney in a class like that on a weekly basis. Laid some foundations, and I would follow what he was doing and check out his comedy shows. I'm checking out his comedy shows too.
That's what I love about this theater. Like I've done all kinds of weird shit on stage, like musician wise and stuff, and I did some weird like junior royalty winter carnival like stuff, but I never dabbled in arts of like acting or comedy and stuff, you know, like and you play music too, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's
like a bunch of instruments.
I do. For some
Superhero?
reason, I feel more comfortable with the comedy in here, but play more music, and when we get into VR chat, I'll probably be doing a little bit more of that. But I'd done some comedy before getting involved with all this stuff. I did about half a dozen open mics, and then very smartly signed up for a Fringe Festival, Montreal Fringe Festival, in like 2017. To do like a one-man show. They accepted. I was like, oh crap. I gotta come up with like an hour of comedy in like 6 months. Not my finest hour, literally, but it was an interesting experience. Rodney helped me out with that, gave me some feedback. I'm sure he was cringing the whole time, but yeah, done a few open mics since. But yeah, that was, I think, the nerdy background and the internet marketing and the comedy background I know Ronnie was up to that had him luring me into this.
Windmajik.
Yeah.
I want to ask him one more question, and then I want you to let it rip with some questions. But I want to spice this shit up a little bit, all right?
Okay.
Like, all right, now we
Okay,
know who you
let's
are. Great.
spice
All right,
this shit up.
now
Okay.
we know who you are. All right,
Okay.
we love you, man. All right, you're have a girlfriend, right?
Oh boy.
What? Everybody wants to know, huh?
I mean, I do, yes. I do.
You do, yes. Okay.
I
And
may withhold some answers. We'll see where you go.
And if you don't want to use like her name, can we use like what's like a good nickname or something that she might know? Like what's her name?
You can call her the artist.
The artist.
She's the artist.
The artist.
The artist. Okay, the
Okay,
artist. The
the
artist. Okay,
artist.
got it. And you recently had a birthday.
And after this, she may be the artist formerly known
So-
as Simon's
So she recently had a birthday, and so I just want. All right, hold up. The artist. So this is the camera right here. Artist. Hi, artist. If you're watching right now, I just want to say hello. Thank you for letting us use Simon. He's the shit, artist.
I'm very used.
So use him up more as much as you can possibly do, artist. I just want to say, I think you guys had plans tonight, and we fucking stole him from you. I'm so sorry, but everybody here loves Simon, and he came here to do it because he's a superhero around here. He makes people smile and laugh, facilitates this whole thing. And I just want to say, like, I'm really sorry, and you can blame Windmajik.
I was faced with an impossible choice where my actual birthday was the day before the relaunch of Binge Nation, and then the week following that, whatever we're gonna do had to be on a Tuesday because such are the cruelties of the fates. This show was launching the week after that, so. What's the big deal about celebrating your birthday 15 days later? That's normal and appropriate.
Awesome, celebrate it every day, God. Artist every day.
It's fine. It's your birth month.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
basically, you're just getting to celebrate your birthday over and over.
Yeah.
I think you
'Cause,
only get
like,
to celebrate a
this
birth
is a
month if
celebration.
it took your mother a month to squeeze you out.
Oh,
And then you
no.
get a birth month.
Life is about gratitude every day, okay? Every day is a celebration.
Agreed.
God
So
damn it.
now I have a question then, Simon. So I know you speak French. How many languages do you speak?
Oh, I'd say pretty much 1.75, probably. I'd say my French is pretty weak, decent enough. I wouldn't say enough to get by and have the people from Horizon Club 2 laugh at me a little bit as they pat me on the head. Nice guys, our new Quebec partners. But took some Spanish in high school, enough to get some bits and pieces, some vocabulary, and enough to work out that Spanish intro that I've done from time to time with a friend of mine who is Spanish speaking and helped me out with that. But I definitely needed help with that. And then just some bits and pieces of things here and there. I learned some Hindi for a buddy's bachelor party. That was pretty
Oh.
fun.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, basically, I mean, I had to do this best man speech, and it was like a half Indian wedding, half French Canadian wedding, and so I was like, Hey everyone, thank you for coming to this event. Welcome. Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à cet événement. Apne Mujaya, Bamleka, Mokadia, Uskale, Bahot, Shukriya. And all the Indian people are like, what?
Goodness.
And I was like, obviously, I can't do the best man speech in 3 languages, so I'm just gonna settle on Spanish. And then it was funny, got some laughs, but I don't. Basically 1.5, 1.75.
Okay.
You're like, I should have
That's-
made
that
fewer
qualifies.
questions. I was gonna answer for like 15
Polyglot.
minutes every goddamn thing.
Now you
I'm in
have
chatty mood.
you have mentioned during your sets a couple times, like when you were in university, and I remember joking with you one time that my son had majored in philosophy, and my joke was that he majored in thinking, and some people are just born knowing how to do that, and that was when you told me that you had also majored in philosophy, I think.
I did.
Yes.
And that was our conversation. I was like, I'm a bizarro version of your son. That's not awkward at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the timing's
Yeah.
right.
Were you by chance? No. Yeah. So I was a responsible young man and did my appropriate science courses and took all the prerequisites to keep my options open. And early in my college life, you have a pillow in your neck right now, and
That's awesome.
Pikachu is.
I'm being
biting you.
attacked by Pikachu.
Yeah, he's
I'll
mad.
take that.
Yeah, so I went into pure and applied sciences, as they called it. I was on the road to being some kind of engineer or something. And then I took my first philosophy class. It was really awesome. The professor was pretty crazy. As your classic, like, dude with a long white beard that says crazy, shocking stuff, but you learn some good things from. Dropped out of sciences, switched into liberal arts. I'd gotten a little science scholarship, and they're like, as long as you stay in sciences for 1 year, you get an extra $500. You got a first $500, you get an extra 500 if you stay in sciences. I dropped out, spent the first 500 on a guitar, went to liberal arts. It was the best choice I ever made.
Nice.
And
I like it.
then I went from that into studied philosophy and theoretical linguistics as my
Okay.
minor.
Oh.
Very all roads to employment. Am I making the sad face? The meta.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask though about did majoring in philosophy and studying different philosophers and types, different philosophies, has that helped with your comedy?
I mean, on some level, there's I think they both have the same root source of like I'm comfortable in like abstraction in all of its forms. So I think comedy is good for abstracting out and thinking weird thoughts, and philosophy suits that too. So I think it's the same underlying personality type. But I mean,
Now you have a
metaphysics
pillow in
and
your
like meta, it's not just a coincidence, I think
Not that
I
one.
think
You have a kitty in your head.
yeah,
Kitty pillow.
I got it. I got it. I'm gonna accumulate these and get increasingly comfortable. But yeah, I think just playing with different realities of different kinds, metaphysics. I'm not studying VR, but I think opening up your mind to being comfortable in a different physics, I think is like pretty natural.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think it's looking at the world, observing it, and trying to analyze what's going on and come up with some
I just heard the
conclusions.
whole complete opposite argument about the metaverse, because meta meaning outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like as if this was something outside of reality, but basically it's not, because it's just algorithms. And as I was listening, I disagreed, because here we are interjecting our own consciousness into it, which makes it a reality. Boom, it's a reality.
I mean, I did
Dude,
a lot
what
of
kind of
philosophy
weed are
of
you
mind.
smoking tonight?
And then I got back on the highway.
Is like the Matrix kind of stuff. I mean, I did some. At the end of the day, it is that it's whatever your brain believes, and we're our
Right.
brains believe in this right now. I think we're pretty fooled.
Did you guys know about the VR cows? Like they put cows in VR now and they produce like better quality milk because they think they're free.
What?
Yeah,
I am not joking.
yeah, that is a for real thing. That is a
Yep.
for real thing. When Blue told me that, I had to fucking look it up. I'm like,
Do
no.
they walk into trees or
And
something?
A very Vermont thing.
No,
sounds
they're on like a treadmill thing.
I don't think it's happening in Vermont. It's like a California thing.
Of course it is.
I mean,
I'm sure they do it in China.
no,
But for little
Vermonters, they don't
kids?
give a shit about that stuff.
I put cows on my plate.
I mean, there's not a lot to do in Vermont. I'm sorry, I derailed.
No, it's
Can you imagine
We were
ordering that at a
talking-
restaurant? Like,
Well,
which
okay,
reality was
so,
this
like,
cow in?
The best thing about VR, okay, if you could have a superpower, Simon, this is an important question, interview question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I mean, I do have a super. I have two superpowers actually already, so I don't feel like
Do
I
you
need
really?
I don't want me to boast, but I have two superpowers.
What are they?
One, I can pick like till I'd say like a cubic like centimeter. I can pick the appropriate Tupperware for the leftovers, like dead on, like every
That's a
time.
good one.
It's ridiculous how good I am.
That
at picking the
That is
appropriate
an
Damn.
amazingly
Oh.
good super.
It's like
And that
no
you
matter-
have
Wow.
Tupperware.
no matter what container the food is in, it's in a pot or a bunch of like leftovers. I can combine it all. Great. Also,
Where the fuck were you
Um,
yesterday?
also I can take, and this is more of a, I guess a weakness that's become another useless power, is when I see a word or a short phrase, I compulsively add up the number of characters in that short phrase and count it really quickly. Sort of like, how like in Rain Man, he dropped all the matches and he's like, yeah, 500, whatever. I can do that like really, really fast up to like 20. So I'm like that headliner from last week who's like, I'm kind of like half autistic. I'm like, what? But like, for example, so Beach Gal, you got 10, you've got 8, you've got 9, you've got 14, you got 12. I guess, well, actually, it's 11. Cliff Powers is 11.
What do our numbers mean?
Just the
Penis
number of
size?
characters in your name.
Okay,
Like,
see,
Sun Blue
that's
Green,
another.
you
This
got
is
19.
something that I have been saying for a while.
Crow, you got 11.
You can have a little of the
Jeez.
tism. Like, I mean, I was diagnosed and having a little of the tism. But it doesn't mean that you're a fucking Rain Man.
No, you could be like
Uh-uh.
Blade. You have some of their powers, some of their weaknesses. You know,
I have superpowers.
what are your?
I
superpowers?
drool in my sleep.
My superpowers, I can consume more edibles than any human should be able to.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
I think I share that power as well. I didn't know
There
that
you go,
counted.
Damien.
I learned something though recently, and I shared this with Kim. We talk every Saturday morning. We have a blab fest, and I learned something recently, and everybody doesn't have to raise their hands. I'm not like calling out anybody's tisms or spectrum things or anything, but I just learned something about myself, and I'm just curious, like. And you can just say, "Oh, I did that too," to yourself if you like. But I learned recently that the way I think when I speak is different than the way that neurotypical people think. When I ask you a question, you may say to me, "Yes." When somebody asks me a question, I have to first think about a circumstance in which I would relate yes to. And then I think of the proper word that applies to that. But the word actually, I see it in my brain and read it. So I'm actually reading the word in my brain. And that's why my speech pattern is a little odd. And it's very difficult for me not to think like that. And I learned that everybody does not think like that. And it was amazing to me. It was like, wow, really? Are you kidding me? Like, everybody doesn't think like that.
Do
And
that
it
for
I have a
freaked
touch
me
everybody
that
that has
out.
something. Everybody's got to have something that they get that they, if they were in somebody else's head, they're like, oh.
Yeah, I have a weird thing. Like, every time I go to every time I go to a restaurant, I have to go to each napkin and draw a penis on each napkin. It's just this weird thing I do. And then I can be like, and then I sit down.
Oh my gosh. I have to take my straw wrappers and I have to fold them crisscrossing into a little spring thing.
Mm.
Always
yeah.
have to do it.
I do this. It's a bigger and bigger spiral and a tight spiral with things. Personally.
I have to shoot my
Spiral.
straw wrapper at other people.
Yes.
You do the tear off one end and then you blow on the straw and shoot the.
Yep.
Classic move. It is the classic move.
Yeah.
It's such a good.
Yes. I'm sorry. I think I derailed our show.
No. It's a conversation show.
Well,
That's how
it is.
conversations
It
go.
is.
We're good.
Very crooked conversation.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
is.
That's
It,
right.
it kind of zigzags, and
That's right.
it's fun.
Are you saying
know?
reel it in and try to bring up something new?
I don't know.
All right.
Well,
let's
like,
talk
okay, so like,
Bring up
what's
something new, man.
something?
19 letters.
What's something that you think that like? Well, Simon, I'd like to hear your answer first because you are our guest. What is a fact? Just
Excuse me.
something, a piece of information that you think that everybody should know. Like, this is something that everybody should know. It's information, a bit of knowledge that every person should just possess.
Oh, generally, just
Yeah,
like
just any bit, just any piece of information. Like, not obvious things like what their own name is or something, but what is just like a random piece of information that you think everybody
does it have to be
should just
factual or
know?
maybe like a bit of advice? I heard sometime that
There you
just
go.
stuck with
That's
me.
fine. Just something that
Open to
you,
interpretation.
yeah, just something that you would like to share that you think everybody should know or take into consideration or.
Okay, something that I thought was pretty valuable to learn. I feel like occasionally popped up in my life. It's the idea that the things that you have can be broken, or they can be stolen, or they can be lost, but the things that you give to others are yours forever.
Oh.
Wow.
That's cool.
Wow. That is true.
No one can ever
Because
take that gift that you gave away from you. That's yours.
That's
If you
true.
enjoy that, that's yours forever. It's untouchable.
That
Dementia.
is true.
Yeah, I always like that.
Even if they don't
Uh,
want what you're giving them,
I
does that
mean,
still count?
Crabs.
it's still yours forever, but what you have is kind of shitty.
I wanted to clarify. Thank you. Philosophy.
Who said crabs?
I did not
No.
say it.
I would just want to say I really do appreciate you guys having me on your first show. You guys both appeared into the Unknown Theater fold, each in very character on a TV series kinds of ways, with your very appropriate episodes that would hallmark your arrival on the scene. And I think
I was tripping on mushrooms.
yeah, and Windmajik came on 420. It's
Yeah.
it's
I
just saying.
did.
And
I did.
you guys have been, it's really cool when we try to create something, and then what we feel like we're working on creating then reverse inspires. And your musical contributions have always been inspiring, and I hope you continue to keep that going when we bring more music into the Unknown Theater at some point soon, hopefully. Because I know it's part of your life. When do you play anything? I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you play any musical instruments?
Um,
Since you asked about it.
no, no, not really. I mean, I can like the piano. I can like play a little bit if I have music in front of me, but not well.
You're not in the band.
I am not in the band. No, no, I would be like a groupie, you know. Yeah, I'd probably be that girl, that sloppy girl that just like follows the band everywhere.
Basically, she
you
says she
know.
plays tambourine.
I play tambourine. There you go.
Or like band U.S. accountant or something. Maybe we could work something
Maybe
out.
yeah, like
Yeah, that's good.
well,
Cowbell.
I could probably play the triangle
It's more
I might-
challenging than you might think.
or the cymbals. What about the cymbals? Isn't that what they give to the people who don't really have any rhythm? Or...
No.
They're very
Question
risky.
mark is
Well,
the
we know who
symbol.
played the
are
cymbals.
they? So I'm sorry, Damien. Did you play the cymbals? in-
I was the cymbals in my high school's marching band. Yes.
Okay.
It
Oh,
explains so much.
I'm
Wow.
sorry. I'm so sorry. So this one time at band camp, what the fuck did you do with those cymbals?
They gave me 2 cotton balls and said, "Play this."
For your ears.
Those symbols.
Oh, Simon, all of a sudden you just like sunk way down into the
It's getting
chair.
comfy. That's the best part about this show. I just want to say one thing though. So like this show is gonna be I came home from work and like I have pajama bottoms on and I'm like on a blanket on my couch, like my feet are stretched out. And before the show, Wynn's like messaging me like, "Hey, at first I have to take my makeup off." Like that's what we're talking about. Like, this is fucking Kaz right here, all right? We're not getting ready like, oh, we're gonna primp up and shit. We're dressing down.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I get home from work and I'm literally like walking like inside, like taking my bra off, going, "Release the Kraken,"
That's
and
right.
pulling
Tell us
it out
more.
from under my short, my
Just say,
shirt, and, like, flinging
Not
it
sure
in
unless
my
there's
leg.
pictures in Discord.
Tell us
Yeah.
more.
Oh,
Well,
I
there was the
can't
one time
stand
that we
it.
were staring at her when she took her bra off, and she thought we could see her.
I did. I was so fucking high, and we were all like playing golf or something. And I'm like, "Oh man!" And I like reach underneath my shirt, and I take my bra off, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just took my bra off in front of you guys. I'm so sorry." And then I'm like, "What the fuck am I talking about?"
That'll be on the Patreon account if you subscribe to the Patreon. Stay tuned.
Well, how many times have we been in big screen watching videos, and I'm like, "Oh, look at that," and I'm like reaching over, like, but I'm like physically reaching over to tap him on the shoulder, like he's really there. Because I
It's
I
so
have a
immersive. That's why.
well, I get all high and shit, and I forget that
Sometimes
I'm,
I put
like,
my
in
hand on your
VR.
leg to my right, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then I realize I'm on a park bench. It's a hobo. It's like, fuck, I'll go for
What are you doing? Put your hand on my leg, B.
What? That's for the Patreon.
What is Patreon? I don't know what that means.
So a lot of podcasters will have a Patreon, and you pay money towards it, like a subscription, and you have extra content,
Oh,
like
yeah, that reminds me.
access to different shit.
I hope you all contribute to the upcoming Unknownly plans.
Segues.
Unknownly. Yeah.
Contributing,
we
huh?
Could do
You say?
that. We could do that. So,
Wait, what?
I don't know. Symbols. I'm so sorry, Damien. I didn't really.
You're good.
So, B, what is something that you think that everybody should know? Like, what is something? I don't know. If
I
you're
want to
gonna
know
be
more
able
about
to...
a little bit more about Canada, like life in Canada, a little bit. Like I'm right over the border.
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead.
It's gonna
Well.
lead. Trust me, maybe there's a question involved somewhere in here, but like I was saying, so like, 19 million people in Canada watched the Super Bowl, which was
Not
half.
this guy.
Okay, 38 million people in Canada, correct?
Well, roughly, give or take, yeah.
And it's all Windmajik was saying today, like it's all like right, kind of like on the south, all pressed up. So like if America's like yawn and stretched out a little bit and like push the border up a little bit, basically like everybody would be in America. That's how close we're talking, right? Like everything's kind of pushed up south, and like in the north is like woods and shit, and like tundras.
Yeah,
And
but
stuff.
by then we're gonna form an alliance with the Scandinavian countries, and you won't be able to touch us. We're letting go.
I'm not
from our
making a
relationship
point
with you
that
guys.
America's gonna pull in. No, no. I'm saying just like
The
the size wise,
Scandinavians are gonna
and like
protect ourselves, right? The
just-
Canadians are gonna be ready
Yeah,
for you guys when you're coming.
I'll get to the protection part of the question here shortly. So like 38 million people. So like Tokyo has 39 million people in one city. And so they're packing fuckers on in like skyscrapers and telling them like tiny things are cute so that they live in these tiny apartments, like shoving them in like real tight.
Cozy.
And
Cozy.
and like Canada's like like stretched out like that's funny. Isn't that cute? And like nobody ever talks about like there's probably vast amounts of resources like wood and oil.
I mean, a lot of that stuff.
In Canada.
There was actually nobody out west in Canada originally, and it was specifically the soil out there and the oil out there that prompted the Canadian government to fund a bunch of projects to get people to move out there and develop all of Western Canada. I'm just hoping trying to pollute enough so that global warming goes well enough that all of that icy shit at the top becomes really nice and cheap and really good land. So I'm doing my part. I think it'll be cool. Right now it's just icy. It's kind of lame. But
Well, I mean, like, so a lot of countries go into like the Congo and they're just like, it's like, fucking give me all that fucking precious metals and shit, right? Jack it up, and people go into other countries, jack it up, and like Canada's just like,
yeah, diamonds. There's some good diamonds.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
in the north.
nobody's Canada's just like, we're cool over here. Like, no, don't worry about us. Like nobody's trying to go there and like, wait a minute, like we could go there and deforest some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it got me thinking. Like, just can't. All right, there's a few reasons. There has to be a few reasons for this, and it's got to be that they have the English back. Like nobody
There's a
fucks
lot
with
of-
Canada because then you're fucking with England and you're fucking
There are a
with
lot
all
of
England's
Canadian
buddies.
resources are getting like extracted all the time, mainly in the entertainment industry. You mentioned there's like about 16 people in Canada, like
Extract-
13 of them are in Hollywood. With out of 3 left, one of them's Rodney. Like it's
I didn't
like
consider
really
that.
it's
Okay.
very high ratio.
That's true.
Because we give tax subsidies
Robbing
if you film
talent.
here. Yeah, we
Well,
work cheap. We're like the third world next door. It's pretty awesome.
It's sweet. I think this will lead to one more thought, which will lead me to my question. So like I kind of think like the United States was fighting with England back in the day, right? And like England was like, let's pull off. Let's just let these fuckers like go settle over there. They're gonna think they'll have their day and stuff. Canada, go burn down their White House real quick. Just tell them like we haven't forgot about their asses, all right? And then Canada burnt the White House down, and then they went back up to Canada, and like, but meanwhile, back in Britain, they're like, all right, we're gonna give the United States like a couple hundred years and like kind of fight our proxy wars, and we're just gonna chill back and shoot all our resources over to Canada. We're gonna build everything up in Canada, right? We're gonna have fucking bears with flannels on, and fucking like maple syrup weapons and shit, and then fucking missiles.
Who you been talking to?
And like and then when England's like, all right, America, all right, fun's over, fucking Canada, and they're just gonna come down and just sweep all of our asses, right?
Oh, we're
He's not allowed to say.
There could be the maple syrup wars.
The maple syrup wars. That's
Well,
racist.
I mean, we would have been fine until that heist. I'm sure you heard about the Great Maple Syrup heist.
I did.
No.
Or here's
I
that
did hear
really,
about the Great Maple Syrup heist.
that was right to the core. For anyone who doesn't know, look it up. It was really just
How
a
valuable
stain
is
on our
that shit?
national history.
Shit's pretty valuable.
It's also a big pile of gold, Rob.
I did learn that Canada had a civil war. That's a little known fact. And most Canadians don't even know that Canada had a civil war. Did you know that?
I mean, would you say it was a Canadian Civil War?
It was a civil war. It
Or was
I
it a
mean, it
civil
was
war in
mostly
Canada?
it basically it amounted to about like a barroom brawl that like ended up out in the street. Any rednecks could relate to this, but and like 5 people were killed, and that was like the Canadian Civil War.
Wow.
Canadian.
That sounds pretty bloody.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the secret? Like, why does Canada just like sit back in the shadows like that, having all kinds of fat shit?
It's called biding your
Like
time.
really expensive
Waiting,
maple syrup.
You just gotta wait. You gotta be patient.
But they also pay out the ass and
because if shit goes down, I live in Minnesota. If shit goes down, I'm going north. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think?
We pay a lot in
Are you guys
taxes,
building a wall?
but I mean, at the end of the day, you pay a lot for medical care. At the end, I mean, ultimately, the total amount that the medical system costs in the states just gotta compete in some level. But no, but I'm really my goal. One of my goals for the next year is to try to get either our provincial or federal government to give us grants because of our massive contributions to the local culture, particularly in French, that we love and adore. So if we can get some of our tax dollars back in the form of a grant, that'd be pretty sweet. I'd like that. That'd be pretty cool. Then we wouldn't have to charge for tickets at some point.
I had a thought about Justin Trudeau, but I'm really fucking high and I forgot what it was. Because I was mostly thinking about that it's been really warm lately, and I saw my chipmunk that I'm always petting, and now it's really cold and we're supposed to be getting a nor'easter, and I'm afraid that my chipmunk's gonna die.
Do you have squirrels too?
I do.
Metaphor.
Do you? What kinds of squirrels have you got? What's your like?
I have chipmunks. And his name is Percy, and he's the cutest little thing. He runs around.
But just generally, what kind of types of squirrels have you got? You got gray squirrels, black squirrels, red
Oh,
squirrels.
and we've got
We don't see
just
colors
mostly
like
gray
that.
squirrels, flying squirrels, and chipmunks.
Are there factions? Do they get along? Do you notice any kind of alliances?
And red
or
squirrls.
Do you feel
Red
like-
squirrels are nasty little fuckers. They're nasty little fuckers. They will go into birds' nests and knock them.
kind of sounds?
How the fuck did you do that?
I see them all the time. I live like there's probably one literally 2 feet below me at this very moment, living in my crawl space. But because I noticed there's like kind of like the black and gray squirrels seem to have formed an alliance against the red squirrels where I am. Do you have the same kind of thing happening where you are?
Well, the white squirrels are always like talking about their rights all the time. You know? Oh,
All right.
Sorry.
White squirrels are actually
we
rare.
don't. This is Vermont. We don't really have black squirrels.
Right.
I know that. I'm just saying we don't. I mean, we do have some. We have gray squirrels.
I see.
Some white
Gay
squirrels. Well, probably up north
Come on,
near
guys,
Burlington.
let's go get some nuts. That was my gay
You'll love
impression.
my nuts.
That's your gay impression is
Yeah,
how
yeah.
somebody speaks.
Right.
I would think your gay impression would be like if you went over and you bet Simon over and started like, having.
That'd be another gay impression. That's correct.
That would be your gay impression.
It's just harder to do that in the metaverse.
Well, Simon.
No, not until we get in VR chat, at least, and then the
Back to
yeah.
Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I guess I saw a squirrel And that's probably, I think, gonna wrap
They're
up
my
our
enemies.
show.
I feel like we have a kind of like in like a proxy war kind of way. I feel like we're kind of at war because I'm at war with the squirrels and you're friends with them, so it's a bit awkward to say.
But why are you at war? Well, I'm not. I'm friends with the gray squirrels and the chipmunks. I mean, they don't come in my house. The red
How
squirrels,
did you get them to not come in your house?
I spray mint around the perimeter
She
of
put
the
all the
house.
miniature vibrators away.
Sacrificed a few of them.
And Cliff's on himself.
Tell them no.
I sprayed mint and I take I go to like Costco and I buy these big huge things of red pepper and I spread them on the ground like all around.
This is
So-
sounding delicious, you guys. Like
Yeah,
mint,
you
red,
know.
red hot pepper.
Just
Come on.
attracting Mexican spiders. Sorry, spiders. I was looking at spider. And I thought, what the fuck? That was weird. Hi, spider. Mexican spider.
I've been thinking about something to try to a little bit to write, and I think it's probably a terrible idea. Can I run like the premise by you guys? Let's see what you think.
Absolutely. Please
Yeah.
do.
Well, first I want to establish, like, does everybody universally hate lettuce wraps? Is it just me, or like are they like the
Waste of
worst
time.
excuse for like a wrap ever? Because it's like you have like a quick glass of water with your bite, with every bite, and like it's nasty, right? Lettuce wraps? No, or are you?
It's a good way to get rid of lettuce.
Well, I like them.
If you have a lot of lettuce around.
Yeah.
And no
I like
bread.
them with cheese.
And depression.
Cheese
See,
and
I'm worried I'm gonna lose the audience by shitting on lettuce wraps, and they're gonna be like, "What's wrong with lettuce
you
wraps?"
might.
Zoloff.
You might.
What's it
I don't
called?
know
A
how do
saprophilia?
you guys feel about lettuce wraps?
No.
Like, would you rather like
no.
not even eat than have lettuce wraps?
No.
Let us rap together.
Well
Okay,
done.
everybody
I was
go.
thinking the same thing.
Well,
you
that's
fir-
exactly where I'm going with the joke. Is where I want to say I'd rather listen to a rap about lettuce than eat a lettuce wrap.
Hell yeah.
And then are you gonna go into a rap about lettuce?
Maybe.
I think that
Exactly.
Would, yeah, I think that
Exactly.
would.
There's a few of them out there.
What
Let
would?
us
Let's see.
be.
Hold it. Let me see if I can.
So they're not talking about the vegetable.
If
they're
I
talking
can
about that
channel. If I
green.
can channel Rodney. Where is he? He's not here. Let me see if I can
Thank
channel
goodness.
him. Rodney. I think it has legs. It
You
has
assume Ronnie has
legs.
any rap skills?
Yeah. It has legs. Okay, that's it. That was it.
Mhm.
So yes, it has legs.
Could be cringe-inducing, but maybe for a beta show.
A little
Okay.
cringe-inducing, but some cringe is good. Just not, a 20-minute cringe.
No, maybe we'll just like just a couple bars and that's it. Make the point and then move on.
Thanks for being our guest, Simon. Here,
Oh,
you're gonna have to
thanks,
pick it up.
man.
There you
I
go.
feel jolly about it.
Thanks
I
everybody
think
for
it's
coming.
a little weird that
Right?
you both like green Jolly Ranchers because purple
Ooh,
is
sour
Green's the best.
clearly the best.
Green's the best.
Purple is clearly the best.
Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you.
Yay!
Have a good night.
See you at comedy night Thursday.
Thursday night is comedy night in the metaverse.
At the here. At the here.
And next Tuesday will be Binge Nation with Cliff Powers and King Nothing. And I don't know who else at this moment. But
Thanks, King.
Voodoo Vinny, I think, is going to be on. No, guys? Binge Nation?
The question has been posed.
Well, if the answer will, I guess, if someone wants to know, they're just going to have to join the Discord, unknowntheater.world/Discord, and check the Binge Nation channel for the latest on what's going to be going on for that episode. That's the only way.
That's the
Good
only way.
job. Good job. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the show. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank
Great
you,
show.
Simon.
Thanks,
Thank
Simon.
you, King Nothing.
Thanks for having me, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.